In this video, I will explain the project life cycle. This topic normally comes in the analysis of project, especially in the programs of entrepreneurship. This forms an important part, the project life cycle. The project manager and project team have one shared goal. We know that every project has only one goal, that is to carry out the work of the project for the purpose of meeting the project's objectives. Every project has beginnings, a middle period during which activities move the project toward completion, and an ending. Either it could be a successful ending or an unsuccessful one. So the project has only one objective or one goal, that is to carry out the work of the project for the purpose of meeting certain set goals or objectives. And every project has a start or a beginning, a middle period during which activities are undertaken, and an end. And that end can be a successful one and an unsuccessful one. A standard project typically has the following four major phases, each with its own agenda of tasks and issues. For first one, initiation or starting or beginning. Next, planning. Next, implementation. And the last, closure. Taken together, these phases represent the path a project takes from the beginning to its end and are generally referred to as the project life cycle. So these four stages, initiation, planning, implementation, and closure, together are referred to as the project life cycle. This is a typical project life cycle. It has the starting stage, that is initiation stage, where we understand the goals of the project, priorities are set, deadlines are created, and we realize different tasks, different risks that are associated with the project. In the second stage, that's a planning stage, where we will outline the task. We will fix a timeline required to execute on the project. So we will plan each and everything in the second stage. Third stage is the execution stage. It is here we turn our plan into action and monitor project performance. So this is actually the activity stage. Here we actually go to the ground to realize, to materialize what we have planned. And the fourth stage is closure stage. And closure stage is very important because it is at this stage we analyze the results, summarize key learnings, and we take certain input from what we have done. And based on that, we can make changes in the next initiation stage. So closure stage actually allows the entrepreneurs to analyze the results, summarize key learnings, and then plan the next steps accordingly. Initiation phase. In the initiation phase, the project objective or need is identified. Most probably, many of the firms have only one objective, that is to increase the shareholders' wealth or to maximize profit. This can be a business problem or opportunity. An appropriate response to the need is documented in a business case with recommended solution options. That means first we decide the need of the project or the objective of the project, for what purpose this project is to be undertaken. And then we will document different responses to that with recommended solutions. How will solve the issue, solve the problem, or how will we find out the process through which the objective of the project can be materialized. Then we will do a feasibility study. A feasibility study is conducted at this stage to investigate whether each option addresses the project objective and a final recommended solution is identified. Issues of feasibility. Feasibility simply means, can we do the project? That's one. And justification, should we do the project? And these type of feasibility issues are addressed at this stage, at the initiation phase. So here we conduct a feasibility study to investigate whether each option means each solution before us, addresses the project objective, or simply will the project materialize, or will the project realize the objective for which it has been planned or not. So that will be studied in the feasibility analysis. And here issues such as, can we do the project, and should we do the project, these type of questions will be addressed and answered at this initiation phase. Once the recommended solution is approved, a project is initiated to deliver the approved solution, and a project manager is appointed. So once this solution, or once the way to realize the project objective is approved, in what way we will realize it? Should we start a big factory, or a medium-sized factory, or a small factory? So whatever form of the solution will address or will help us to solve the issue, or will help us to realize the objective. So once this solution is approved, a project is initiated to deliver the approved solution, and a project manager will be appointed for the same purpose. The major deliverables and the participating work groups are identified, and the project team begins to take shape. Approval is then sought by the project manager to move on the detailed planning phase. So at this stage, in the initiation stage, we will identify the project need, and on the basis of that, we will think of certain solutions to realize the project objective, and we will appoint a project manager to look into all these aspects, and project manager will try to understand the deliverables and the participating work groups, and the project manager, with the help of the participating working groups, will identify the form in which the project should start, and approval will be sought by the manager to move on the detailed planning phase. Second is the planning phase. In the planning phase, the solution is further developed in as much detail as possible, and you plan the steps necessary to meet the project's objectives. So in the initiation stage, we have formed the project objective. Now, what steps we need to take to meet the project objectives, that will be detailed out in the planning phase. In this step, the team identifies all of the work to be done. The project task and resource requirements are identified, along with the strategy for producing them. And this is also referred to as the scope management. So here in the planning process, in the planning phase, we will identify all work to be done in the project, and what are the tasks, what are the resource requirements, and by adopting which strategy we will produce this output. So all these things will be detailed out and will be taken care of in the second phase, that is nothing but the planning phase. A project plan is created outlining the activities, tasks, dependencies, and timeframes. So these things will be detailed out in the project plan. What are the activities to be taken, and what are the tasks, and what are the dependencies and timeframes? It means, when should we start, when should we stop it. So these things will be given in the project plan. The project manager coordinates the preparation of a project budget, by providing cost estimates for the labor, equipment, and material cost. So a project budget will be prepared, and in that project budget, we have to give estimation for the labors, equipment, and material cost. Then the budget is used to monitor and control cost expenditures during project implementation. So if you have a budget for a project, then that will help us to will help us to control and monitor expenditures during the project implementation stage. Once the project team has identified the work, prepared the schedule, and estimated the cost, the three fundamental components of the planning process is complete. So if the project team has identified the work, which work needs to be done, and if the project team has scheduled the work, if the project team has estimated the cost, then we can say that three fundamental components of planning process can be said to have been completed. If you have a situation where project team has identified the work, prepared the schedule, and estimated the cost, this is an excellent time to identify and try to deal with anything that might pose a threat to the successful completion of the project. This is called risk management. That means here we have to analyze the threats, because in the planning process, we will look into this work, nature of the work, schedule, and estimated cost. But very important is the estimated cost. So this is an excellent time and to identify and try to deal with anything that might pose a threat to the successful completion of the project. This is called risk management. In risk management, high threat potential problems are identified along with action. So if some problems appear to be highly critical, then we will take certain steps to avoid that high threat. This is also a good time to identify all project stakeholders and to establish a communication plan describing the information needed and the delivery method to be used to keep the stakeholders informed. So what type of delivery methods we need to follow, what type of information we need to share with others. So all these things will be covered in the planning stage, because at this stage we need to travel much beyond our narrow concerns, and we have to live up to the objective of the firm itself. So everything related to that will be framed and looked into in this second phase of the project life cycle. The second phase of the project life cycle is nothing but it is the planning phase. Now, third phase is implementation phase. That means we are going to implement the program, implement on the basis of the plan. In the implementation phase, the project plan is put into motion and performs the work of the project. Progress is continuously monitored and appropriate adjustments are made and recorded as variances from the original plan. So people carry out many tasks and progress information is being reported through regular team meetings. The project manager uses this information to maintain control over the direction of the project by measuring the performance of the project activities, comparing the results with the project plan, and takes corrective action as needed. So it is the responsibility of the project manager to use this information to maintain discipline, to maintain control over the activities. And the project manager also is wanted, is demanded, is required when the project activities in question compare the results with the project plan, other project plans, and takes corrective action as needed. Now, the closing phase, this is perhaps the last phase. Closing phase does not mean that the firm will close itself. During the final closure or completion, this completion stage, the emphasis is on releasing the final deliverables to the customer. What are the things which you can give to the customer on the day of on the inauguration day, and having over the project documentation to the business, maintaining supplier contracts, releasing project resources and communicating the closure of the project to our stakeholders. So that's very important in closing phase, because in the closing phase we will get some understandings on where we might have gone wrong. So therefore, the closure phase means the phase is very important, and that will guide you in future. So therefore, the closing phase is very important in the life cycle of a project. The last remaining step is to conduct lessons learned studies to examine what went well and what didn't. Through this type of analysis, the wisdom of experience is transferred back to the project organization, which will help future project teams. So if you analyze a project, if you examine the outcome of a project, then you will be able to understand the culture, the you can say the civilization or something like that we have, which works behind the project, and which will help the projecting in future periods also. With this, we end this video.